North Denver or South Denver? What's the difference between the two? Which one's right for you? We get real in today's video. Hey everybody, I'm Alyson Wahl with Live South Denver, your real estate strategist and realtor for the South Denver area. This video, North Denver versus South Denver, has been one you have been asking me for a very long time. But it's taken me so long to put together for you because I want to be real and unbiased and do it all in a really favorable light to both parts of town. So you all know that I live in South Denver, so it stands to reason that I love it here. In a nutshell, here's what I love about South Denver compared to North Denver. South Denver looks newer in most areas. The commute into downtown from South Denver is prettier in my opinion. There seem to be loads more pine trees down here. And when I'm east of I-25 down here, it still feels like Colorado. When I'm up north and east of I-25, not so much. But I always want to give you more than just my opinion, so here's what folks from both sides of town had to share. From my South Denver peeps, we rented in Broomfield for 9 months while we looked for houses all over the Denver area. Further north, there seemed to be barely any evergreen trees, so winter felt really bleak, especially coming from Austin where things are green year-round. I also feel like there are a lot more shopping options in the south compared to the north. This person continues to share, the trade-off for us is that we both work in software, and Boulder is a hot spot for good tech jobs that we essentially felt we had to write off when we bought our home in Highlands Ranch. But we have the Denver Tech Center nearby and light rail to get downtown, and ironically for us, we both ended up working remotely for tech companies in Austin. This person shares, I grew up in North Denver. It's not as green up there. The traffic is very heavy. The mountains are more visible and you can also see the plains. I now live here on the south side. The mountains are closer. The area has more hills. It's green and lush and I love it. Schools are better down south if they have children, and I think there's a reason cost of living is more expensive down south than up north. South is great. Littleton, Cherry Creek, and Douglas County schools are better to anything up north. And from my North Denver people, we love being 20 to 30 minutes from both Boulder and downtown. Hiking in Boulder is only about 40 minutes away and we love that. We've lived here so long now that we finally have all the amenities that we want. We thought that being near fracking and a dump would have kept development away and prices down, but it didn't. Being close to tech jobs in Boulder is great. We looked all over Denver before buying our house. And with friends on the north side, hiking not far away, and our jobs up here, it's a great fit. We chose North Denver because of where our jobs are located, but we love it here too. It feels less keep up with the Jonesy than other areas, and there are a lot of great shops and restaurants around. The mountains feel so close up here on the north side. The views are amazing. All right, so we're gonna dig into those opinions and talk about them. But first, let's identify what falls into North Denver and what falls into South Denver. North Denver includes Arvada, Wheat Ridge, North Glen, Westminster, Broomfield, Thornton, and Commerce City. South Denver includes Greenwood Village, Centennial, Englewood, Littleton, Lone Tree, Parker, Castle Rock, Castle Pines, and Highlands Ranch. To the east of the city is Aurora, and it shares itself with both North Denver and South Denver. To the west of the city is both Lakewood and Golden, and it tips a little bit more to the North Denver side than to the South Denver side. And up to the northwest corner is Boulder, a world unto itself. Towns in its county include Superior, Lafayette, Louisville, and Erie. They don't really fall into the North Denver area, though people do consider looking at those when they're trying to figure out if they want to be near Boulder, near Broomfield, and they're great little places in and of themselves as well. All right, so that gives us a great home base to start from. Even if that list is not 100% all-inclusive, at least now we know what's North Denver, what's South Denver. So let's jump back into all those different opinions and things we heard in there and talk about those. All right, greenery and trees. I pulled a map of tree coverage in Colorado to see if I was a little crazy or a lot crazy about that perception that I have about there being more trees down here in the South Denver area. It came up from someone else's comment too. So I was like, is this something we're making up or is this the real deal? Here you can see on this map of forest coverage in Colorado, and we're zoomed in on the Denver metro area, that Douglas and Jefferson County have great forestry coverage. That means we have lots of trees on the south and west side of town. Once we get outside of that, it's just pretty bleak. Now that doesn't mean there are no trees at all. In the more mature neighborhoods, there are lots of trees that were planted when these homes were new. So you've got these big deciduous trees, but sometimes they're a little snarly looking, could maybe use a little pruning, or it might be time for them to come down and some new ones be planted. The thing is, there aren't as many pine trees or native trees in those areas, and that makes a difference. In some of those areas, when I'm driving through, if the trees are looking a little snaggly and it's flat, I could just as soon be in Florida, where I grew up, as Colorado, and I have to tell you, that does not make me happy. Someone mentioned more shopping. North Denver has some great shopping spots. The shopping district at 144th and I-25, which includes Westminster's The Orchards and Denver Premium Outlets in Thornton. There's the Flatirons Mall area and the Broomfield Town Center. And South Denver is full of great shopping as well. There's the Park Meadows Mall, great high-end furniture shops like Larrabee's and Woodley's, and IKEA, you know, for balance. The outlets in the Promenade at Castle Rock, and several open-air malls like Aspen Grove, South Glen, and Southlands. I think the difference in perception for shopping between North Denver and South Denver is that there's a higher density of newer looking shopping in the South Denver area. So as you're going from one area to the next, the new shopping seems to flow right into each other. And when you're in the North Denver area, you'll be in an area with nice new shops, but between getting from there to another area, it may not look as nice and new in between, depends where you are. I mean, if you live in Superior or Broomfield or Westminster and you're 7 minutes from the Flatirons area, you think I'm crazy talking about the newer shopping in South Denver. Or if you live 5-10 minutes from that 144th and I-25 shopping area, you don't even know what I'm talking about. You've got everything you need and it's all stunning and gorgeous and new. Traffic came up, so is traffic better or worse on one end of town versus the other? Well, according to the American Transportation Research Institute, yes, there's definitely a difference. The 3 very worst spots in Denver are the Mousetrap, which is where I-25 and I-70 intersect, which is on the north side of Denver, the I-25 and I-76 intersection, which is also the north side of Denver, and a spot called Central I-70, which is a 10-mile stretch of I-70, which is undergoing renovation and renewal, also on the north side of Denver. I commute from South Denver to North Denver all the time. I'm taking people up for showings, I'm touring homes, and I have to say, I promise, no matter what time of day, North Denver has worse traffic hands down than South Denver. The I-25 stretch can be tough no matter what, but I think there's just a lot more slow, sludgy traffic, even on 25 in the north segment. All right, let's talk about the good stuff for a few minutes. Let's talk about the mountains. There was a lot of talk about the mountains in those comments. The mountain views are better up north. The mountains are closer in the south. So what's up? Where are the better views? You're not going to lose out no matter where you are. But I will say, when I'm driving up north, especially if I'm headed out Highway 36, which kind of veers off 25 right around Westminster, takes you to Broomfield and then heads toward Boulder, the views are absolutely stunning, breathtaking. Even I am just in awe of the mountain views when I'm headed that way. The terrain headed out that way is moderately flat, and so the mountains seem to just erupt right out of, feels like the plains. It's not that flat out there. It's just the way the terrain is, they just come up and they're right at you, it feels like. It's just, well, as you can tell, I'm kind of stuttering. They're gorgeous. In South Denver, it's different. The terrain down here is rolling. We've got hogbacks and ridge lines and foothills and canyons. So we don't have this flat land that the mountains just erupt out of unless you're, say, right up to the foothills in southwest Littleton. So it's a very different feel for how the mountains look. They're gorgeous. We get beautiful snow-capped mountains and they sit behind the foothills. So you have these layers upon layers of mountains that you're looking at. Both places are stunning. I think the thing I like about South Denver is that with all the different terrain, you feel like Colorado is right here and around you because it's not flat. What you get that's great up in North Denver is that's a little bit flatter. And when you have a view, the mountains are looming so large, which is a whole different flavor of Colorado. So you kind of win either way. All right, a couple of people mentioned schools and they had some strong opinions about them. So if you've watched any of my videos before, you know you can check out schools and school ratings at greatschools.org and schooldigger.com. Not all the school districts here go by county lines, so if you find an area that you're checking out and you're curious what school district it aligns to, feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to help you identify which school district it matches to so you can dig in on the details on it. A little less controversially, jobs and tech came up about as much as schools did. neighborhood, the Denver metro area continues to rank as a top tech city all across the US. And it is pretty true that if you move to South Denver, you are pretty much giving up a 5-day-a-week commute to a job in Boulder or the north end of Denver, and vice versa. If you live in Broomfield or Boulder, you're giving up an opportunity to have a 5-day-a-week in-office job down in South Denver. That is, unless you love being in your car. However, we all know that after this last year and a half, hybrid positions and fully remote positions are really opening up even within the city. So that is changing the landscape quite a bit. Let's go a little deeper on this jobs piece. When we look at a map of Denver, it generally breaks down like this. Industrial jobs fall to the east side along the I-70 and I-76 corridors, and tech jobs run from Lockheed Martin in South Littleton up to Boulder through the Denver Tech Center, downtown, and Broomfield. So that makes this upcoming map and a comment you might have picked up on make a little bit more sense. Did you catch that comment about fracking and a dump being nearby and the person thinking it would hold back growth? That's actually a friend of mine. They live north of Broomfield and they've lived there for a very long time, thought their town would always stay small. And I asked him to give me his thoughts on being in North Denver. They love it. Like, love it up there. But yeah, they do live near fracking. They have a dump in their town, and it's one of the most popular towns in North Denver. The fracking issue does come up in conversation quite a bit with folks who maybe start looking in North Denver and then give me a call and go, I don't know if I like this. So take a look at this map. It's from a site called Frack Tracker, and you can see how most of the oil and gas activity does fall north and east of Denver. And if I were to overlay that map with where our old Denver airport was, the Stapleton Airport, which is now turned into a massive residential area, overlay the active Suncor refinery, overlay Xcel Energy's Cherokee generating station, you would see all of those also fall to the northeast of Denver as well, along with most of our former Superfund cleanup sites. Not much is holding people back from living in Denver, buying homes, and enjoying the lifestyle, the mountains, and all that Colorado has to offer. One of the biggest factors on where to live is budget. So let's talk about budget in the different areas of town. We'll talk starter homes first, then we're going to quickly look at some larger homes. Over the past year, here's what the average price has been for a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage starter home across the Denver area. In Wheat Ridge and Arvada, it's been about $520,000 for 1,900 square feet. In Westminster, it's been $565,000 for about 1,800 square feet. Over in Broomfield, you're looking at $490,000 for about 1,950 square feet. In Thornton, we're looking at $435,000 for about 2,000 square feet. In North Glen, $410,000 for 1,700 square feet. And in Commerce City, our eastmost spot in North Denver, $410,000 for 2,000 square feet. So you get the most home for your money in Commerce City, and you pay the most for a home in Westminster. This past year, I had a client offer $100,000 over list price on a partially updated 1,600-foot tri-level home in Westminster. Yes, they got the house, and they also reset the base price for the neighborhood. So Westminster gets pretty feisty and popular on bidding wars in there. Though the market has slowed down recently, it still gets pretty aggressive. It does, as you saw on the map, kind of run long. So you can be closer to the city or you can be up and closer to the tech corridor. And I think that has a lot to do with why it's as competitive as it is. All right, for that same 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-garage house down in the south side of town, we've got Parker at $510,000 for 2,500 square feet. Castle Rock, you're $470,000 for about 2,200 square feet. Highlands Ranch, $490,000 for 1,900 square feet. Centennial, $470,000 for 2,000 square feet. Littleton, $500,000 for 1,900 square feet, and Englewood running $535,000 for 1,700 square feet. So you're getting the most house for your money in Parker. As you can see on the map, Parker's huge, and it is a pretty solid commute into downtown from there. So when you have a lot of area to build homes, you've got some mature homes, and you're farther from town, you're always gonna get a lot of house for your money, and you're paying the most for a home in Englewood. Why? Look where it is on the map, closest to downtown, short commute. As a quick summary of larger homes and inventory and where those fall across the city, if we look at homes that are over 4,000 square feet, 5 beds or more, 4 baths or more, 3-car garage or more, here's how it breaks down. In South Denver, there were about 2,000 homes that fit that criteria that sold over the last year across a price range of $535,000 all the way up to $9.4 million. Up north, there were about 500 homes that sold that fit that criteria across a price range of $475,000 to $2.7 million. So the luxury home market in South Denver is stronger. A lot more opportunity, a lot more diversity down in the South Denver area for luxury homes. Niche.com rated the best suburbs across Denver, and they gave 7 out of 10 of the top spots to South Denver suburbs. 2 of the remaining 3 went to towns in Boulder County, Superior, and Louisville. And the last one of the 10 went to a North Denver suburb. Zappia made a list of the happiest places to live in Colorado. 6 of the top 10 went to South Denver towns. 2 of the top 10 belonged to Boulder County cities, Superior and Erie. And the other 2 spots were split between 1 in the city and 1 in the mountains. I have to say, as much as I love South Denver, I think Zappia could have rightly given all top 10 spots to our mountain towns, so maybe take that list with a grain of salt. It would be so easy for me to go on and on and on about how great South Denver is, though I've pretty much done that in a weekly video for the last couple of years. But in reality, North Denver is fantastic. There are so many wonderful areas. Pretty much any area off of Highway 36, that area with the great shopping we talked about off 144th and I-25, and anything heading west from there. There's a lot of growth and development that's going to be happening around the Anthem community in Broomfield. I just had a client buy a new home over in Commerce City, brand new construction. It sits right along the Rocky Mountain Arsenal, which is a cleaned up Superfund site. They will never have anyone building right on the edge of their community. They have mountain views. They have great amenities coming in. They got a home at an amazing price as brand new construction. There are lots of opportunity and beautiful places up in North Denver. And really, there are times when I'm up there, I couldn't tell the difference between North and South Denver. The people are great. We're all Coloradans. We're all pretty chill. We love the mountains and hiking and being outside and enjoying our state. You're not going to go wrong. What I see time and time again as the deciding factor for where someone chooses to live is where is your job and how long of a commute can you tolerate to match up with the lifestyle you want and the budget that you have. Every once in a while, school rankings come out a number 1 versus the job location, but typically it's where do I work, how far is my commute, and then the secondary issues are schools, all the things that come with that. What's my charter school choice? How do the public schools rank? Are there private schools nearby? You name it. The lifestyle of the community you're looking in. How close is it to hiking, the mountains? What are the community amenities? How close is it to stores, shops, restaurants, all of that good stuff? And then the overall feel. Do I feel safe? Is there open space here? Do I have the feel I want for our family to grow up? Will we make friends easily in this neighborhood? So how are you going to choose between North Denver and South Denver? Figure out where work is going to have you. Study schools if that's important to you. Look at your budget, and then make a visit and figure out the vibe of a few different areas. Then I know you'll end up with a few awesome choices. Let's chat if you have some more questions about North Denver versus South Denver. I'm always available to connect, and I love hearing from you. Hey, I will see y'all next week.